What's up, everyone? So, I'm filming on a camera today, so that's a great start. So, I thought I'd go through today just some freshest tips I have about living in uni halls, because let me tell you, when I was first watching like all these videos, like preparing for university, I was like, this is gonna be a nightmare. I'm gonna hate living with people. Worst nightmare. But let me tell you that it's not that bad. There are a few things that will probably get on your nerves, especially if you're not used to living with people you don't necessarily know. Like if you're just used to living with your family, especially if you're used to living with your mum who does everything for you before uni, then it may come as a little bit of a shock. But let me tell you, you quickly learn and adjust. Well, most people do anyway. So it's gonna be fine. If you're living in uni halls, it's gonna be fine. But let me just go through a few things. I'm gonna recommend you keep in mind and some tips on how to deal with them, sort of thing. Alright, so the first thing, I'm gonna call this section noise control. So the first night, so I made a group chat for like our whole house, and basically we had a house party in our flat. You can see where that might be a problem, especially for someone who doesn't like drinking, who doesn't like interacting with a load of random strangers. So I stayed in my room, but I'm just an antisocial bundle of hatred, so, you know, and well, I was missing home as well, as just a few things, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay in the comfort of my room, I'm just gonna sit and watch Friends, it's gonna be fine. So I did that, and I stayed in my room. So one thing you can do, if you're in a similar situation, or like even for like prees and stuff, if you're flatmates or whatever, just making a load of noise, and you're like, why? You can try earplugs, or you can try and drown them out with your music or TV or whatever it is you want to drown them out with, or you could just leave the flat for a while if you wanted. It's really up to you and how you want to escape the situation if, like me, you are antisocial. Though obviously with prees and stuff, you should totally get involved, is what I'm saying. Like, if you're like me and you like struggle with anxiety and stuff, and you can't be around a massive amount of people, that's fine. Like at uni, you're not expected to do that. Like, hopefully, like me, you'll have some good flatmates that will just like allow you to be involved as much as you need and want to be. So I'd say if like a few of your friends are having prees, go along. You don't have to go out. But I've gone off on a tangent here, but like, yeah, just find ways to enjoy yourself. You don't have to go out. I didn't, and I still participated in their prees and still had fun. Like, I don't drink, so I was just like, okay, this is gonna be awkward. But it wasn't. They still involved me in their games, and I had shots of orange juice. Like, that's how involved they had me. Like, I love my flatmates. And they were always encouraging me and supporting me, so shout out to them. But, oh god, that's so soppy. But, back to the point, what you can do also, if there's a lot of people you don't know, and you're in your room and you're like, oh, please go away, lock your door. I'm not even kidding you. Just lock your door. Because there were two people that came into my room thinking it was someone else's that night. And I was just like, led in bed, like, oh hello. I locked my door. So like I said, try not to exclude yourself, get involved, that sort of thing. If you're one of the people that loves prees, because, I mean, why not? Like, I'm not opposed to drinking, I just don't, well, not very often, but if you're going to drink, especially if you're going to drink a lot, bear in mind that if you have sober flatmates, they're not going to want to clean your mess up. And, like, it's okay, yeah, we'll move on to cleaning your own stuff up after, but please just clean it up. Because one of the things that made me and my flatmates argue was cleaning up our mess. And, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. But just try and clean it up, and if you can, like, this doesn't just apply to Breeze, like, it applies to all your, like, washing up and stuff. Clean your stuff up straight after if you can. One, it'll make you feel better, trust me. Like, I will admit that there were times when I left some of my stuff and my flatmates had good reason to moan at me for it, but literally, if you get into the habit of cleaning up straight after, you will feel better. Also, do not do what I do and have cups lying about. Well, you can't see them at the moment because I've cleaned them up, but do not have cups lying about everywhere in your room and let them pile up, because it is a nightmare and you will regret it and you'll be like, why? Why did I do this? Why? But that's my my advice. Don't let it fester. While I'll say yes, it's good to if you're already cleaning up and there's a bit on the side, go ahead, clean it up. But if your flatmates start to think like, oh, they'll just do all my washing up for me, that's when you have a problem. So it's okay to clean up your flatmate stuff, would recommend, but at the same time, don't make it a habit where you're constantly cleaning up their stuff, where they think they can just walk all over you. You don't want to be cleaning up everyone else's massive pile of dishes. Like, If you have good communication with your flatmates, it'll be fine, honestly. Like, even when we had, like, quarrels over washing up and stuff, it didn't, like, break our flat apart. Like, because we all, like, understood, like, we have timetables and stuff, we have times when we're busy, we have this, that, and everything else, like, but like I said, don't let it fester, try not to keep it in your room, and just try and wash up when you can. So, just, yeah. And if you let it pile up, then it's going to be even more difficult to fit washing up a massive amount of stuff into your schedule. So, don't do it. Don't let it fester. 2 C's. Compromise and communicate. So, as I was saying, communication is very important. Try not to be petty. I know I can be very petty and very sarcastic, but it's easier to communicate with your flatmates if you're calm and polite. If you're friends, that's even better, because then you're more likely to not scream and shout at each other. But there will be times, there will be issues, but you just need to communicate in the nicest way as possible. And if it ever gets to the point where you can't compromise, which is the easiest way to live, but if you can't compromise and you're really struggling to communicate and there is a massive issue that you just actually can't deal with, like, I know some people do have really big issues with their flatmates. I was very fortunate in the fact that I had some good ones, but just, there are ways to sort it out. Like, your university will have something in place for you to help. Like, I know at Cardiff, we have personal tutors, and they will point you in the direction of someone who can help if you don't know yourself. Like, I'm not even sure who I'd go to in uni halls, but I never had that problem. But, don't pack your whole room. don't be like me. Don't bring everything you can. Of course, you want to make it look nice and you want to make it look pretty, but if you can, try to avoid bringing your whole room, because you will regret it when you're trying to get it there and get it out, and it's a slight nightmare. It's doable, not your whole room. I don't know, it depends on the size of your room really, but just be careful with how much you pack. Don't overpack like I did. And like I had boxes upon boxes. Also, if you can, like I said, I made a group chat, and I also made a group chat with my flat. Because obviously, most of us, apart from 2 of the 6 of us, found each other on Facebook. So, what I would say, try to coordinate. Now, you may have issues where you don't really want to share all your stuff because, you know, but if you can, try and coordinate with your flatmates with what they're bringing, because then you can reduce spending, like, you know, and if worst comes to worst, you just go out and buy something of your own. Like, we're all using each other's stuff, and it was okay. Rule of thumb with that one, just wash it up after, and then they can't get mad at you, and if something gets broken, there are ways to sort it out. Try and coordinate with what they're bringing, and then you don't have to bring as much, they don't have to bring as much, and it's all happy families. These are the 2 that I didn't want to say, but I'm gonna say them because I have to say them. Right. So I'm gonna say that I was really worried originally about I love it when I mess my words up. I was really worried about hearing people having sex. But it only happened once where I heard it. And I think that was because they were literally in the room above me. If you do hear it, you're a bit unlucky and you do hear it. There's earplugs, and just block it out. And I know it's not what you want to hear when you're trying to fall asleep, especially if you have a migraine. Like, the one time I heard it, I had a migraine and I wanted to sleep, and there were these people screaming up above me, and I was like, okay. But, you just have to block it out. There's not really a way around that, unfortunately, but, you know. And the last thing that I'm gonna say, and I'm not gonna give context, just my advice, don't date or sleep with your flatmate in first year. Just don't do it. It's not a good idea. Like, even if you've got a few months left and you're thinking, it'll be fine, just maybe don't. So that's all the main advice I have for you. Obviously, there's other things I could probably tell you, but I've been rambling on for however many minutes now, so I think I'm gonna go and stop rambling in your ear. But I hope you have a super amazing, awesome day, and basically, just, you know, there's other channels that will have, like, tips and tricks, so I'd recommend also going to them, but just, yeah. Uni Horse was fun! But if you have any questions, or if you think that there was stuff I missed out, or whatever, just drop a comment below, and I will reply. Anything you want advice on, I can try to help. I'm not a qualified therapist, but, you know, I can try to help. So, like I said, hope you have a good day, and bye!